excited to have you here to share our first customer success webinar series. So to start you guys off, we would like to introduce ourselves. I'm sure most of you know who we are, but I am Maddie. I am the new Director of Customer Success, and we have James here.
My name is James, and I am also on the Customer Success team with Maddie.
We are excited to have you guys today. We have a jam-packed session. We are going to be taking you through some ways in which Circle can help you guys reach your organizational goals. So to start you off, we have a few housekeeping notes.
So throughout the whole webinar, you are able to send in questions to us. These questions are anonymous. So there's no such thing as a stupid question. Please don't hold back, and please be willing and able to ask us any questions you feel need to be answered. Also, we'll send out a link after this webinar so you can revisit it a couple times over and over and over, just in case you miss anything super important. And you can also send that out to your friends if you feel they need to see some of this information. It will be super helpful. And if you ever experience any technical difficulties, as always, you can call the number on the screen. If you'd like to screenshot that, or I guess you'll see it in the link that we send out later. But if you do ever experience technical difficulties, you can always reach out to us. And also you can follow along with Circle on our social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
So to kind of go over today's agenda, we are going to help you guys reach your organizational goals using Circle. We want to help you maximize your content, and we're going to explore some insights and then discuss some new and upcoming features. So to kind of go through a couple things that we have going on in customer success land, we are really starting to move forward towards a more proactive customer success plan. We are going to make sure that we are providing you guys with information that you need based on the features of Circle that are most interesting or useful to you and your organization. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right in, and we are going to have you guys take a quick poll.
So take your time on this and fill out whichever answer applies most to you and your organization.
Don't be shy. This is going to help us guide you through ways in which our features and some of our software was built to support those goals. Give you guys a couple more seconds here. See, there are a few people who haven't voted yet. All right, awesome. So what we have here looks like event attendance is about 55% of our audience members today are interested in using Circle to increase that. We have audience growth and retention, we have 64%, list management at 27%, integrations and analytics, and then lastly, saving time, which is not surprising to us because we understand how valuable time is. 82% of you said that was something that you guys use Circle or need Circle for. So what we're going to do is hop into Circle itself and take you through some of those features that are going to help you maximize. So first, we're going to start with event attendance. So we'll go ahead, hop back into Circle. One thing I really want you guys to start thinking about is how are you posting your events? If you're posting events, are they on your social media? If so, how are those coming into Circle? We have some awesome new features that I think you're going to be excited about. We have just recently, if you go down to your homepage, your drop-down menu, head to your settings, you will find under the integrations tab, here we go, integrations on the left, we have two new features that will allow you to automatically grab Eventbrite events and Facebook events. So these are really easy. So if you're familiar with Eventbrite, you know that your account has an oath token. So you can easily grab that, pull that oath token in. It'll funnel all of those events into your queue. Again, all of our Circle advocates out there will know that the queue is where your content will be populated. And from there, you can either edit that piece of content, you can directly just approve it to live on your content archive, or you can delete it if it's not of value to your subscribers. So from here, again, you also have Facebook events. I know some of the smaller organizations might use this, and again, it's a great way to increase the traffic coming from Facebook or even from your Circle account to your Facebook events. This is another way to increase your events or your event attendance and really help you guys grow your audience and make it, even a time saver. So now you don't have to copy and paste and put that into Circle. Also, it's worth noting that each of these events being pulled through from Eventbrite and Facebook, they will be notified within Circle as an actual event. So if you're familiar with Circle events, you know that you have to put like an end date to that event so it'll fall off and it won't go into any more newsletters afterwards. So these events being pulled through from Eventbrite and Facebook events will do the exact same thing in Circle. So you never have to worry about creating an end pub date or anything like that within Circle itself. So thinking through how the events will look in your actual newsletter itself, I'm going to take you through, because I know this is a newer feature that we have. Each event will show up in the body of your newsletter first for a subscriber to see in their actual newsletter email. Now, after it's been in that position in the newsletter itself, it will fall down to the upcoming events section. We'll take you quickly and let's see if this one has any upcoming events. Awesome. So you'll have up to 5 upcoming events that'll live here, and this will be in every single newsletter that's delivered to every audience member. So again, events will show up here first in the body one time, and then after that it'll fall down here until the event's over. Alrighty. So next we're going to hop into audience growth and member retention. So James, you want to take this one?
Yes, Maddie, I will. So, slightly more people said that audience growth and member retention were important to them and their organization. So, how do people track their number of subscribers? And do you do that currently? And should your organization be tracking the number of subscribers that your Circle has? I know for in some industries, it's not so relevant. So, for example, in the internal communications industry, it's not so much important that you're gaining and increasing the number of subscribers you have. It's more about retaining those subscribers and keeping them happy and engaged with your organization. But in other industries, such as higher ed, retention is super important, where you really want to keep your students and or alumni very engaged with your university, and also in a nonprofit industry where growth is very important to increase donor dollars and to increase attention in the media and stuff like that. So Circle does offer a lot of features that would help with audience growth and member retention. Circle itself, the newsletters, are very engaging and have seen just dramatic results in retaining your audience. So one of the ways we do that is embedding the subscriber plugin, which would be, let's find it on Circle.
The mouse is a little wonky. Sorry, we have double screens here. There we go.
Awesome. You can go to your settings where you'll find the subscriber plugin. Circle's a little slow right now.
Might be the Wi-Fi. Thank you, Xavier.
And it is right under automated email. And here you'll see a few options. Under general, you can actually customize the subscriber plugin. The subscriber plugin is right here at the bottom. And this will go perfectly on your website with your colors, with different designs, and you can edit the text, say what you would like about this specific plugin, and tailor it kind of for your audience and your website. And at the end, you can get the code by pressing this button and talk to your tech team to have that installed on your website. So once that is on your website, your audience and people who visit your website can simply enter their email in this plugin and be automatically subscribed to your circle.
So let's show you a quick example of one of these subscriber plugins on one of our partner websites. So if we go to Nonprofit Quarterly, you'll see here, not only do they have this subscriber plugin here, so this is in an embedded form, which means it's actually embedded into the website itself. We also have this pop-up version. I know Nonprofit Quarterly has seen huge increases in their subscriber lists since they've added this pop-up to their site. So now every time someone comes, they're going to be prompted to put their name and email address. Awesome. Okay. So looking at some other ways, we have audience growth and member retention. One of my all-time favorite partners, Marion County Public Library. Shout out to Terry Brockman if you're in the crowd there. We came up with this awesome idea, and this was over a year ago when Marion County hopped on with Circle, and they had created content in Circle itself, and they're like, how do we share this to our Facebook page? So what we did is when you do create a piece of content in Circle, each one of those pieces of content will be associated with a specific URL. So that URL you can copy and paste to your Facebook page. This also is a great way to grow your audience. So you'll see here that this is an article that was created within Circle CMS itself, and they just easily pasted that URL here on Facebook. So now when a new subscriber is, they like their Facebook page, but they're not necessarily a subscriber of their Circle newsletter yet. What a subscriber will see, I'll show you here when open it incognito, because obviously I'm already subscribed, but this will act as if I wasn't subscribed. You will see the content here that has been written by, what do you know, Terry Brockman. And when this subscriber goes to leave, they're going to be prompted by cute little Sparky here to go ahead and put their email address. So again, a great way to grow your audience and grab those people from Facebook who might like your account already to get them into your Circle newsletter.
And that's a very similar way as the subscriber plugin. It's just associated with your Facebook, so a lot more people will see it.
Definitely. All right, so thinking through some other ways in which we can help you guys grow your audience and retain those members are in your insights. So James, I'll kind of take you through that here.
Thank you, Maddie. So in your insights, we do have a little tab under content called Performance and Insights. And under Insights, we have our most popular topics. So this would be our Circle's most popular categories with the subscribers. And once this loads, see this percentage point right there. That means that 17.9% of our subscribers have marked community engagement as one of their most important and most popular categories. So, which would be really important. A really important part of Circle's content creation would be to tailor content towards the subscribers by creating content around community engagement, technology, leadership, and digital marketing, so that you keep your subscribers happy and engaged. There aren't any content opportunities as of right now in the Circle.
We're just that good. That's
fine. But usually, let's check here. Maybe in the last 8 weeks.
I don't know, our marketing team is pretty baller. I'm sure they have all those covered.
Exactly.
But the great thing about the content opportunities here is this is going to kind of cut out the guessing game. So you can use these content opportunities to guide your team in producing content that either A, you haven't spoken about in 30 days and a large majority of your audience is interested in that content, or B, that type of content or that category of content is being digested at a much faster rate than your team is producing it. So again, no more guessing. What should we put in the newsletter? What content should we be writing about? we are going to provide all that information for you.
And sometimes it's not necessarily your own categories. It might be categories that they themselves are interested in other circles that they're subscribed to. So, for example, if I'm subscribed to another circle and I'm really engaged with sports, it might show up in the circle account in their insights that a lot of their subscribers are interested in sports and want to hear more about sports.
Which is great, because that's going to help you guys figure out, you know,
Exactly.
what should we be talking about outside of what we normally do.
Exactly.
Also, you'll see here in the most popular topics, and even in content opportunities, if there were some here, you'd see that there are some of these categories with the little blue tag. So these are going to be your specific organizational topics. So those topics that or categories you put in under your settings page that your audience can now choose from when they go through and personalize. Everything else outside of that that does not have that blue tag, those are not your organizational tags. Those are additional tags that we are reading from either outside circle accounts that your audience is interested in, or more or less from the fact that the content you're creating isn't just about your 20 organizational topics. It's about a lot more than that. And we're reading over 2 billion tags. So that's where some of those tags will come from as well. So this would inform you, hey, maybe we should put, you know, community engagement and technology as one of our categories under our settings. Again, all there to inform you and help you guys engage your audience in the most relevant manner.
Okay, thank you, Maddie. And now she is going to talk about list management, integrations, and analytics.
Some of my favorite stuff. And I'll be honest, I've never been much of a data and analytics person, but we just make it so easy for people to understand. It makes it fun. So one thing I want you guys to think about is how you are currently measuring your audience engagement. And how did you measure that before Circle? As you've all have seen, we provide you your audience engagement scores. So we are going to show you what is a current engagement score for specific subscribers, as well as their engagement score change. All these engagement scores are just there to provide you a quick snapshot of how that specific subscriber is engaging with your content based on the others in your account. So going through some of the ways in which you might think about segmenting or putting your audience members together is through our segmentation. So if we go down to your drop-down menu, settings, and we head over to automated email, and then segments, you can see here that we have a list of different groups of audience members. This is going to help us better target them. Now, Circle was built to automatically personalize and read interests as people's interests change. So it's not necessarily something that, you know, hey, I want these people to hear about, let's say, economic development. Well, if they haven't read or engaged with content about economic development, then you shouldn't really force them into that bucket, right? We don't want to, you know, overdo or kind of take away the personalization aspect of Circle. This is more or less for those groups of people that you need to say specific things to. So let's say you're a nonprofit and you have board members. Now you can create content specifically for your board members, and it's pretty easy to do so. So if you were to add board members, we'll go ahead and create that as a segment. You can easily upload your subscribers. If you go drop down menu, add subscribers, you just grab that list of your board members with their first name, last name, and email address. You would be able to upload those board members, those subscribers, right in your Circle account. So, and just to let you know, if you already have those board members in your account or in your Circle, we're not going to duplicate their email addresses. We automatically dedupe all of that. This is just going to add them to the specific segment as well. So now when you go to create content, instead of creating a completely separate newsletter for your board members, you can easily go through and say, hey, I want this to go to board members and board members only. Now let's say this piece of content has to go to your board members. That's great. We can mark them here, but what if this content it might be relevant to someone else outside of that segment. That's awesome too. You can easily just uncheck this exclusive box, and now it'll definitely be in the board member's next newsletter, but it could be in another subscriber's next newsletter if they're interested in the categories or topics that you've selected up here. So again, a great way to be able to communicate with the different groups in your audience while allowing your personalization to still live, but it's making sure you are not creating too many different newsletters and sending out content to different groups. It's all going to be in one platform. So I urge you to think about how you might want to segment your audience, and is there an audience or a group of your subscribers that you have to send specific messages to? If so, you might think about using that segments feature. So thinking through some of the things that we have coming up, which I know we'll dive deeper into a little bit later on our webinar, but we will be launching Insights 2.0 because we hear a lot. So this, the partners of ours who do use that segmentation, you know, what is the engagement rate of your board members? With our launch of Insights 2.0 at the beginning of 2018, you'll be able to run all different types of reports based on, you know, whether that be your segments or people who have personalized, who haven't personalized, you know, gender specific, even down to the day the newsletters are sent. So we have some really awesome stuff coming up with Insights 2.0, and we're excited, but just keeping that top of mind too, because it's going to help you understand that analytics and the list management piece. So today, you can create those segments, but forward thinking in a few months, you'll be able to run reports and send that to your board members and say, hey, you guys are the least engaged. What's wrong with this, right? You need to be able to track that as the organization owner and to be able to understand who you are speaking to. Also, I'd like to show you Apply. This is another great way to increase the engagement, but then also it's going to be considered one of our integrations. So if you go down to your drop-down menu, Settings, you will see on the left tab bar, Apply. Now most of you have seen this, but for those of you who haven't, this is going to be our website personalization. So it brings personalization to the next level. Now your subscribers are used to having this really rich content coming to their inbox from their digital newsletter, right? But then it typically just ends there. What this does is bring personalization to your actual website. It's a great feature. We've seen major increases in subscriber engagement and time on website. So if you guys track those types of things, this is a great feature for that. Again, just like the subscriber plugin, you can design it however you'd like. So let's say I want the images to be large, and I want the section titles to be circle blue. You can change all of that, format it however you'd like, and then you'd easily just hit Get Code. Again, just like the subscriber plugin, you're going to copy this code, send it to your IT team, or if you have access to the back end of your site, you just easily drop it and we give you the directions on where to put each line of code on the back end of your site. So again, to go to another great example of our website personalization, we'll head back to Nonprofit Quarterly. So you can see here, just for Maddie. So these are pieces of content coming from their Circle account that are just for me. I can see what's trending amongst everyone in the circle. And then let's go to another one so we can see custom distributors. We go to custom distributors. It's another great example, but it's a different layout. I think it looks really nice on their website as well. So go down here. You'll see this is also our subscriber plugin. You can see, again, just for Maddie. And of course, mine would be with wine and spicy foods, not in technology. Not surprised. Then you can see what's trending. So again, bringing personalization to your website and really thinking about how we can keep people there longer for you, because a lot of times that's a direct correlation to higher donations or event attendance, engagement overall, and things like that. So another great feature for you guys to start implementing. All right. So let's hop into the increase in sponsorship and revenue. I don't think we had too many people select that, but there are some awesome ways that you don't even have to think about the sponsorship piece or gaining funds through this, but it's a great way to utilize other things that you guys might have coming down the pipeline in the future. So I'll let James take off on that one.
So if you do currently have sponsors, let's go back to Circle. What kind of promotional materials are you providing? Let's see here. So because not many people really picked increase in sponsorship revenue as one of their choices for wanting to kind of increase that with the use of Circle, we won't go too much into that, but we are very willing to send out some content regarding sponsorship revenue after the webinar. We do have a lot of content regarding this issue, and we are willing and able to send that to you after the webinar. But just a few quick tips. One of our key features in the content creation in Circle is our pinned content feature. If I go to create a story here, so if you do have a sponsor that wants to create a post on your account or to maybe advertise their services, you can pin their content at the top of your newsletter by entering the text first and maybe their story image and a summary, and tailoring it to the right crowd. Maybe that's everyone, maybe that's just a few people who are interested in for example, strengthening team collaboration. You can pin this content at the top of your newsletter by selecting a date until that's pinned and a time. So this is very similar to, for example, when you're sitting in your office and someone wants to really make you well aware of something, some information. They might pin a piece of paper to your desk and say, hey, look at this. This is the exact same thing, except you're saying, instead of taking that down at a later time from their desk, you're saying you're taking this down from their newsletter at a later date. So this will rest at the top of everyone's newsletter until this date and time. So that's one of our coolest features, I think, and definitely something that a lot of people use.
And a great thing for pin content too would be a campaign you might be running. So if you are a nonprofit or just an organization that has month-long coat drive, you can pin that content. So that'll live in everyone's newsletter the entire time until that pin until date. Another great piece of or like pro tips or student tip we have is if you already have a sponsor and they just might be paying you to do the regular sponsorship ad at the bottom of every newsletter, you could always go back to them and say, hey, we will write up a story on you, come up with an article, we'll get some quotes, and then we'll pin that content for the entire month of December for you. So that becomes another revenue generator for you. So how can we think about the way in which you have your current sponsors, and how do we maximize that using the features we provide you within Circle itself? Now, something to keep in mind here, we'll just quickly go into the sponsorship under settings. Again, since some of you had said, hey, we're not really interested in generating revenue at this moment, you don't necessarily have to use this feature for sponsors, but you guys could use it for your own benefit. So again, let's say you have the entire month of December a Christmas extravaganza that you want everyone to know about. Or I know a lot of people do like Amazon, where if they have a specific link and anyone using the link to Amazon, that organization gets a pushback of like maybe 5% or what have you. So what you can do now is upload any image that you'd like. Let's see, we got our circle U. Upload that image, and then you can put the URL. So if you were utilizing that Amazon feature where people can click through, go to Amazon and purchase anything using that code, then you guys would get that kickback. You could put that link here. And this image will live at the bottom of every newsletter. So that's just another way to think about how you might be able to not only increase sponsorship and revenue, but also promote your own features in-house. Awesome. So thinking about how we might save some time, as we saw, a lot of you are really interested in that. And that's, again, something we are cognizant of. We know how busy everyone is, and we have set out to make this a time saver for you guys. So what I would really like you guys to think about just for a second is how much time do you currently spend on content creation per week? And how much time have you saved with Circle? We like to track that internally just so we have an understanding of our different industries and how they might be using the different features we provide. But in some cases, when I hop on some insights calls with people, I hear, oh yeah, but I'm improving a lot of content from the queue, and I have like 50 that are sitting in there. We want to help share those best practices with you. So one in general is that not only, let's see, let's head back to Circle itself. Here we go. So if we're going to take a look at some of the ways we can help you maximize content. So if you're creating a lot of content in Circle, you're writing all those stories, how can you pull external content from, let's say, thought leaders or additional blogs, YouTube channels to help boost content creation that you're not necessarily writing, but it's going to easily funnel into your Circle? So from here, we'll go to your content sources. You'll see that we already have a couple uploaded, so we're going to pull in obviously our website where a lot of our content lives, but then also our Circle YouTube. So all of these articles or videos that are being posted to both of those sites automatically are being pulled into Circle in the queue, where our team can go through and easily approve the content. So next question, okay, so how do we do this, right? How do we pull in external blogs? So we have a blog pulled up to Entrepreneur Magazine. So if we want to say, hey, this is a great piece or a great publisher, we'd love to pull in all their content because it's going to increase our audience engagement and cut down on the time that we spend writing and creating our own content in Circle itself. What you'd want to do is easily just grab the URL from the specific blog. And for those of you tech nerds out there, what we're looking for is an RSS feed, and it stands for Really Simple Syndicate. When we find that really simple syndicate, and we will tell you if we do or do not find that RSS feed, you're just going to go ahead and paste the URL, and if we do find one, it'll let you know, hey, we found it. If we can't find one on that website, a pop-up will appear and it'll say, hey, just to let you know, we couldn't find one on this feed. Can you try? You want to reach out to the website and see if they want to turn it on, or can you try a different blog? So we're going to constantly inform you. So we're helping you learn throughout that process as well. So easily, once you grab that URL, you're going to go ahead and paste it in your external content sources. Go ahead and click it if you'd like to make any additional edits. So you can say, hey, I want this to be moderated. So if we want this to be moderated, this means that all the content, again, will go into your queue. So if you're finding that one of your content sources is being funneled into your queue and you're spending too much time in your queue approving the content to live on your content archive, maybe we should think about taking that off moderation and just let it flow by itself. So from there, what it will do is we'll pull in the content and it'll automatically appear on your content archive page, where then it's available to go out into any newsletter for any subscriber. So again, a great way to think about saving time on your end. So we'll go ahead and next discuss how we might think about your current content sources. So a lot of times we have some partners who are pulling in 6 or 7 different external blogs or RSS feeds, and then they get really backed up in their queue. So from there, what I'd suggest doing is taking a look and really taking a deeper dive into those content sources themselves and thinking about, is this content relevant to my audience? If I'm constantly deleting content from my queue and it's not relevant, maybe I should turn that RSS feed or that content source off, which is very easy to do. Again, you can just turn it to disabled, so then it'll pause it. In that case, let's say we decided Entrepreneur Magazine wasn't a good feed to pull in because it was just pulling way too much in, not all the content was really relevant to me. What we could then do is just use the link feature. So if we head here to one specific article, I can easily grab that URL, head back to Circle, and head down to add content, scroll over to link, and then you'll be able to paste that specific URL into this feature, and it'll grab the title, it'll grab a little snippet for the summary, it'll grab the image for you, and then you easily go through and say, hey, this is about preserving audience engagement, generating content, success stories. Of course, you have all the additional features that we always provide for your content, and then you just hit publish stories. Then it'll appear in your content archive. So again, thinking about how you are pulling content in, and if you're not, maybe you should, or if you're pulling too much in, how do we manage those for you? And if you have any questions, again, more than happy to help you out with that. Dive into your account and give you some best practices or tips to make sure that you guys are saving time and aren't spending as much time creating the content or just approving things from your queue. So from here, we would love to just jump back into our last slide for the webinar today, and then we want to open it up for questions. We want plenty of time for you guys to ask situational questions. This is, again, for you guys to understand how Circle can help you reach your organizational goals. So we'll head back and quickly just want to go through some of those last and new and upcoming features that we have. So as I mentioned earlier, we have Insights 2.0 coming up. We're really excited. Our tech team has been working really hard on this. And it's getting to the point where we're just chomping at the bit for all of you guys to take a look at it. We do have plans for our next webinar, our next monthly Circle U webinar, to be focused around the Insights 2.0 launch. So we'll take you through that. It'll be in beta phase. But it'll be a good way for you to understand functionality and what other things you can now do with Insights. So be on the lookout for that in January. We are going to take a month off from the Circle U in the month of December, but we'll be back in January, no worries, so we can celebrate the first of the year. So we're very excited again for that. So Insights 2.0, some things you can be thinking about or be looking for is the data, a deeper data dive. Now you can create custom dashboards where you can run reports. You can now export those reports. We're going to save all this data for you. You can filter by day, by format of newsletter, by language, all this awesome stuff. So we're really excited for that to be coming out to you guys the first of the year. Another cool feature that we just recently launched, and I'm sure most of you have seen, is the percent match in trending. So if we head back to the newsletter in my inbox, you can see from the Carnegie here, you'll see this little icon, and this is the percent trending. So this is telling me this article is trending amongst all the subscribers that the Carnegie has. So if you are interested in turning this feature on, I'll go ahead and show you where that might live in your Circle account. So drop-down menu, settings, and then we're going to head to your automated email and other settings. So you can see here we have ours turned on for Circle, so the display percent match. So you can easily toggle that on or off. So not only will it show you the trending, but it'll also show you the percent match. So the article below, the trending article from the Carnegie, I think it was 80% relevant to me, so it'll say 80% of a match for me, where James, that article might be 95% of a match for him. So it's going to change per newsletter, per article, per subscriber. That's going to be like that Netflix feature if you guys are familiar with that. So if you watch, let's say, The Goonies, then it's going to next suggest that you watch something like Stranger Things, and it'll tell you, hey, it's like 98% relevant to you. So same thing here, just with the content that you're providing for your subscribers. A few other things internally for the customer success department that we have on the line is that we are going to be creating industry-specific forums, where now all of our library partners, all of our internal communication partners, all of our higher ed career service partners will be able to hop in, share best practices, discuss what's working for them, how they use specific features, and help them increase their engagement with their audience members. So we're really excited for that. Be on the lookout for that the first of the year as well. Let's see, what else? We have a lot going on right now. Oh, feature request tracking. So I know we get quite a few features, feature requests from all of our awesome partners, and we love to hear feedback from you guys. So what we'll do starting the first of the year is have a tracking system where you'll be able to put in a feature request and then track the progress of that. I know sometimes with all the different partners we have and internal team members here at Circle, we don't want those feature requests to be lost, and we want you to be able to be updated. So look out for more information on that the first of the year as well. And then lastly, one other thing we wanted to show you before we open it up for questions today is that we have this new chat bot, and I'm sure most of you have seen it already, this purple little icon down here. If you guys ever have an immediate question, this is going to be the best way to reach us. So if you click here, you'll be able to start a conversation with anyone on the team and get an immediate response. So this has really helped our time to respond. I know prior to this, it was strictly email or phone. This allows for everyone on the team to be notified and to get you the fastest response. So feel free to send anything through our Intercom app or our chatbot. And then lastly, I want to take you to our help desk. So this is going to be something we recently implemented as well, where now you can reach all of our help desk articles. And I think James would know better than I would. How many articles do we have here? Over 100?
Oh, a lot.
150?
Yeah, something around 150,
Yeah.
all tailored to different categories and questions that we've heard from you guys, our partners.
So feel free to jump in here and take a look at some of our best practices, tips. It's definitely some place where we have the ability to share some new features. And again, we are tracking specific questions and are able to create content around those questions, and we always place them here. So take a look at that. If you're looking for best practices, or you forget what the top story feature might do, you can always take a look here. All right. So I think at this point, I would love to open it up for questions and see what we have. So we'll go ahead and take some questions from the audience. All right, let me pop this little question box. How do I do that again? This one? Yep. Ah, gotcha. Okay, awesome. All right, if a user is already a part of your audience and they fill out the pop-up or embed plugin, what happens? Great question. So it will tell them that they're already subscribed. So it'll give them, a little prompt. Otherwise, if they're not subscribed, it'll tell them, hey, look out for that email. Thank you for subscribing. Great question.
And it will not ask them to personalize or choose their interests all over again. They already have, or Circle already does have that information about them, so it wouldn't necessarily need to gather that info again.
Awesome. Great question. I'll let a couple other questions come in while we're reading these. And don't be shy, guys. All right. See a couple more coming in. Okay. I had a question on, let's see, how do you get the Circle URL that you would post to Facebook? Great question. I guess I didn't really show that part, huh? Okay, let's go to Circle. If we take a look at our Circle account here, every piece of content that's going to be created on your content archive or approved there will appear in its own Circle page. Let's see, where's the one on that? No, and the little one. Oh, here. There we go. So we just wrote an article the other day on getting ready for Giving Tuesday. So as you can see, once you approve that post, you'll see this URL here. So you can just grab this, and that's where you'd want to place that on your actual Facebook. And we can go, let's see if I go, I post a comment. I should know how to use Facebook, huh? If we do, just post this here. Well, I'm not on my Facebook, that's fine. Okay. So if we paste here, you'll see that this article will automatically appear, and you can easily just delete this. The link will still stay there. That way you just don't have that hyperlink. It just looks better. All right, let's see what other question we have. Can you show me one more time where the code is for the pop-up subscribe feature? Of course. All right. We'll hop in to our settings page. Go back to Circle. We're going to go to your drop-down menu, settings. We have a couple more questions coming in. Just to let you know, if we don't get to your questions today, we will be sure to follow up with you one-on-one to get those questions answered for you. So once in your drop-down menu settings, you can head to your automated email subscriber plugin. So if you're looking to have the pop-up and not the embed form, so this is automatically going to be set to the embed form. If you want the float at the bottom, the pop-up, you'll just click this, and it'll show you exactly what you're designing. So if you want a border, you could say, you know, I want it to be a little bit bigger of a border. I want it to ask for their name. I want a background color as well. Let's do green. Oh, I didn't choose anything. Oops. There we go. Oh, that looks real good. You can change the button to say whatever you'd like, all that fun stuff. From there, go ahead and hit Get Code, and then we'll tell you exactly where this needs to live on your website itself. Alrighty. I think we have time for one more question. I don't want to keep everyone too long today. And then from there, we'll go ahead and follow up with everyone else individually. All right. So if you're thinking about, I think you said event attendance, how do you grab the oath ticket for your Eventbrite? Great question. So when you are in your drop-down menu settings, you'll go to integrations and then head over to Eventbrite. You can actually grab your personal oath token just by clicking here, so it's pretty simple. Once you click here, and if you've been logged into your Eventbrite page, it'll automatically direct you there. So let's see. I know I had one at one point. I don't know if I do anymore. Awesome. So then here, we'll be able to just grab that oath token, and all you have to do, copy and then paste it there. All right. Well, we want to thank you guys again for your time today. We really appreciate it. It was great to connect with some of you that we haven't chatted with in a while. Hopefully this is helpful, helps you kind of walk through some of the ways in which Circle can help you reach your organizational goals. Definitely be on the lookout for additional information on our webinar starting first of the year. And again, we're excited to show you some of our new features, Insights 2.0, some other things we have coming down the pipeline. In the meantime, don't hesitate at all to reach out to us. Feel free to reach us via email or the chat bot directly on any Circle.com page. Thanks again, guys. Have a great day.